So Peter, while we're on the subject of a more progressive tax system, is it individuals? Like, let's, for everyone at home, let's kind of explore the idea a little bit. What are we exactly talking about? Like, are we talking about just taxing the wealthiest individuals? Are we talking about raising corporate taxes? If you're talking about wealthy individuals, like what percentage, right? So for example, right now I believe it's 32.5 after the new tax law, I believe. And it used to be 70, right, during the New Deal. So like, where do we go back to 70? Do we go to 90? Do you go to 50? Where are you thinking? Let's, I guess, start with individual wealth. For everyone at home, where would you start? What would be the rate that you would suggest for these, and how would it break down too?
Let me start by saying this. When we say, oh, an individual, and let's go back to the older tax system where the top tax rate per individual was 39%. In reality, nobody's actually paying that amount. That's just the top tax rate. For corporations, around 35%, right? But their effective tax rate, that's what we're talking about here. Their effective tax rate on average for these corporations is 12%, if they pay taxes at all.
An effective tax rate, just for everyone at home, is how much they're actually paying.
How much they're actually paying. So me as an individual, as a social worker who doesn't make anywhere in the millions of bucks a year, I'm paying more relatively, percentage-wise, in taxes than a corporation would be. My tax rate was at the time close to 30% or so, right? So we have to keep in mind that there is the stated tax rate within your bracket of how much money you make, and then the effective rate, which is what you're actually paying. And there is a difference between those two things. And especially when big corporations are given tax rebates in the hundreds of millions, $500 million at times, who go years without paying any taxes, that's what we need to be paying attention to, because that is why our property values are up. That is why our roads don't get fixed. That is why our infrastructure is not fixed. And ultimately, I'll add this point too. You pointed to what it was during the New Deal era, right? During Dwight Eisenhower's time, when we built the interstate highways like 95 and 80 from the Garden State all the way out to the Golden State, it was around 90%.
Wow.
And we're not advocating for that. But what we do know from economists, and the science clearly states that an effective tax rate of around 50% for the wealthiest individuals. This could be corporations or multimillionaires, people making $10 million. For them, it's honestly just a drop in the bucket. And many of them, there's an organization out there called the Patriotic Millionaires, and they have clearly stated, look, tax me more. I want to pay into my society. It's my dues. I'm a patriot. I care about my communities. I care about my schools. I care about the future of our nation. Yeah,
I have seen that. I know Bill Gates, Warren Buffett also came about that. I think who's the guy, Mark Cuban. There's a number of very successful individuals who have come out publicly to say that they should be taxed more. So it's interesting. So you're talking about policy-wise, you would be focused more on like closing the loopholes, closing those, and really kind of increasing that aggregate tax take, for our highest earners, to kind of fund more social programs, essentially.
Yep.
Okay, great.